Welcome back to Championship Court. Jericho Grollman and his partner Michael Forster getting set to take on Hunter and Yates Johnson in the other men's semifinal doubles match. Grollman, 23, out of Orlando, Florida. Started his collegiate tennis career at Campbellsville University in Kentucky before transferring to be a member of the Temple Owls. Studied business management. So a smart kid, doing well on the pickleball court. Guys, what do you expect to see from this particular duo going up against the more established Yates brothers?
Well, Mike Forster has been around a while. He's been playing pickleball for a while and is a very well-established player. A lot of the players know who he is. Just hasn't had that kind of success that, the top players would have.
Age 37, out of Melbourne, Florida. 5 career APP top 10 finishes, Dom, to your point. So established in his own right, just not the face that we're used to seeing every single Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. And then, his partner, Jericho Grollman, that you kind of hit on a little bit. Newer to the scene, but again, in singles on Thursday, really played well. We were here watching, and I like his energy. I like his enthusiasm. I like the way the kid plays. I don't want to call him a clone of him, but he reminds me a lot of James Ignatowicz and how he plays and the energy he plays with. And he does know James, and they are friends and have played together. But not in a tournament, but have played together, and I just like the energy he brings to the court. So it is going to be an interesting matchup here for Hunter and Yates.
Grollman lost in singles to Jose Dominguez Alonso. That was a very competitive match. Grollman right in game number 2 after dropping game 1 fairly easily.
That second game was in the 2 out of 3 was 15-13 where he lost. But, what an incredible match that was.
Tons of fight. They're going to need it against the Yates brothers, who are...
The Johnson brothers.
Thank you.
The same thing.
I was going for Yates and Hunter and then went brothers, and so it's just a combination.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Well, the Johnson brothers, regardless, obviously a duo that we are very used to seeing on championship court. Solid top to bottom. And just really playing well as of late, especially now that Hunter is back following that back issue.
Yeah, Hunter's looking extremely good over the last couple of days. But what it comes down to with the Johnson brothers, and it's kind of like any siblings, is well, I guess I'm just. Apparently Dom or Dorian don't have any siblings.
Nope.
But anyway, they do at times kind of have a little bit of a clash on the court, and Dom and I have experienced it firsthand when I think to open the season in Punta Gorda, where Yates and Hunter were kind of going at each other in the corner of the court over there. But there are times where if Yates is down, Hunter steps up and picks him up and picks up his game, and then vice versa, where Yates will pick Hunter up. But if they are both on, extremely tough to play, especially if Yates is driving that third shot and really having some shape on it, and Hunter steps up and crashes behind it. That's where they've had some success. But I would say right now, Hunter definitely playing better than Yates, simply because he's had a little bit of time off, and he's taken the time to treat his body. His legs are a little bit fresher, and he seems to be moving pretty well coming back from the back injury.
Now, Dorian and I may not have brothers and sisters, but I do have twins.
Well, you've got children,
but I do have twins.
Yes.
And so I know what's going through the minds of Hunter and Yates Johnson when they could either be the best of friends or the worst of enemies. And again, Chad, you and I pointed out, it was that Punta Gorda tournament where we were courtside. And it was almost like we needed a beat button on the sideline with the two of them going at each other. And they end up winning that match, too. Yeah. So it is, but again, too, they admittedly do that. But again, too, like you said, they pick each other up so well as well in that kind of aspect of things. And I do like them right now. I like how they're playing. And I like that they're here right now in a semifinal because they haven't had the best success in recent tournaments together.
Apparently, I just can't relate. No siblings, no kids. So I'm just going to have to trust the two of you. Which
nieces and nephews?
I've got a handful. So
All right.
sure.
Okay, well, you've experienced...
Actually, I have twin cousins, so there you go.
Yeah,
There
you've
you go.
experienced children not being able to get along.
Not just children, but you talk about the skill set of the Johnsons. So then what is the key going to be for Forster and Groman going up against Hunter and Yates?
Chad, let's call a spade a spade. What are we always going to say when you're playing at top speed?
You have to play clean.
Have to play clean every time. And it's a broken record, but it's such the truth against a top team that is going to bring pressure, and they're going to play clean. And so, again, if you can play clean, you stay in that. But, again, too, when you have your opportunities to put pressure on, you have to be able to do that.
Well, I think, overall with pickleball, and we've said it a lot over recent years, the difference in a lot of these matches is the team that has fewer unforced errors. It's not about winners. It's about unforced errors and errors. They are going to come out on top. If you are making too many errors or you're trying to do too much, you're not putting yourself in a situation where you're going to come out on top. And the Johnson brothers, yes, they will speed some balls up and put some pressure on. But when they're playing extremely well, it's all about the consistency. They're going to make you beat yourself. It's similar that we saw with Diasco and Nunnery. They'll take their opportunities, but they're going to make you beat yourself by getting a lot of balls back. The consistency, moving that ball around.
I don't disagree with you with the errors. I think there's a conversation to be had somewhere about the ratio of winners to unforced errors, where that golden number is, because if you're making a ton of winners, you have some leeway when it comes to the unforced errors. But to the greater point, Dom, you say we sound like a broken record. If everyone played clean, we wouldn't be having this conversation, and that's why it's such a big deal.
We'd be having 80 to 100 ball rallies,
I don't think I want that. I don't think anyone wants that, as we are moments away from getting set here on Championship Court. And the first return pushed long off the paddle of Grollman.
Yeah, wind again as we're getting later in the day. It's continuing to pick up more. Johnson brothers hitting into the wind right now.
Nice backhand coming across from Yates.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to watch the Johnson brothers earlier today. They are playing a little bit more aggressive, just stepping up and taking those calculated risks.
Hunter going right at the body with the forehand.
Well, we saw that early on in the season when they played Andre Dascu and Kyle Yates in that matchup in Daytona. They were playing really well then.
Right now, the boys from New Braunfeld's just gripping and ripping.
No, they're just playing very loose right now. And again, it's kind of leaning back into yesterday when Hunter's playing with Allison Harris and how loose he was, and now just kind of translating that right here into doubles.
That's an easy put away for Grollman on the overhead.
Yeah, it's a good speed up there by Forster, though. Yates kind of sitting with the paddle down by that right hip. Forster recognizes, elevates it a little bit to the backhand side, going at that left shoulder.
Body shot again. You cannot leave that ball up for the Johnson brothers.
Well, and again, right there, too, is a good spot there from Yates, as he has Grollman crashing for no reason. And so he goes right at the person who's up at the net. You're taught to keep the person back, but when you get a ball up like that, Grollman's an easy target.
Unfriendly net court allows Grollman to put it away. And that's something that's a little bit different about pickleball. You look for the first person to elevate the ball, because typically that team that gets the high ball is going to win the point, or at least control the point. Nice backhand roll.
Yeah, and that's a good adjustment there from Hunter. He drops the paddle head under it a little bit more than the previous ball. He tried to speed up down the line, but then it's the brush of that left hand coming up and going from bottom to the top of the ball, creating that shape. Oh.
Yates wanted that forehand so badly.
Oh, man, he's just so mad he missed that one. That was probably the easiest ball he's going to get all day today.
Nice shot from Forster using the forehand to go back up the middle.
Yeah, again, good pressure there from Forster and Grollman. Again, you have to put that pressure and be able to put the pressure on the higher seed here.
Forster and Grollman earn the quick side out. 1-4-1. Forster trying to speed it up a little bit too big.
Hunter's hands right there.
Right?
Yeah, he caught that forehand coming across the body. Forster stands completely straight up on that one. Hits the top of the ball straight in the net cord. Had a good crossbody ball there from Hunter. Again, Grollman is really trying to move up to that kitchen line and put the pressure on, but he's just running himself into bad situations right now.
No, beautiful overhead from Hunter.
After the last point, I was pointing at both Hunter and Yates Johnson. They're smiling at each other. This is scary. Like, if they're feeling that good and smiling and laughing together, whoever's on the other side of the net, you're in trouble. You better fix something because you got to get them fighting.
That's your game plan?
Yeah. You have to get them uncomfortable.
Siblings and couples. That's the goal.
I mean, that's fair. I can't play mixed doubles tennis with my husband.
Nobody,
he hits out balls, and it makes me so mad.
Nobody can play with this significant other.
No,
Let's be honest.
We talked about it last weekend. The last time Chad and Simone played together, Dorian, they won a tournament together, went undefeated, and it looked like they were going to fight each other.
Forster and Grollman taking a timeout, but this is the Vlasic firefight of the match. It is the defense of Hunter Johnson before the Johnsons ultimately end up winning the point.
Just look at the defense, just slapping balls back over. Just one more ball, force one more, and it's right into the mistake right there. Beautifully done by Hunter Johnson, and both him and brother Yates are cruising along here, looking very good.
What impressed me the most about that firefight is the speed at which you have to be able to react to those balls as they get on top of you so quickly, and not just get a paddle on it, but get a quality paddle to be able to return a decent shot as well.
Yeah, and again, when you're getting pressured like that too, it's about get a paddle on it, don't do too much with it, get it on the sweet spot, let them create all that power if they're going hard like that. So a great job by the Johnson brothers here early on with a 6-1 lead.
And the Johnsons have had a fairly easy road to this men's semifinal, taking their first match 5-4 before taking their second 7-6. So have not been tested too much here. Hitting 6-1. As that sails long off the paddle of Forster, the wind catching that a little bit.
7-1-1.
Another nice forehand from Hunter. He looks like he's staying within himself very well.
Well, both Yates and Hunter right there. It was a good reach in to start that from Yates. Didn't try to do too much. Stayed in his positioning. Forster tried to reset both those balls, but wasn't able to get them low enough. And then Hunter just reaching in, going behind Grollman. They're playing... They're definitely playing within themselves right now. They're not trying to do too much. They're loose. They're having some fun with it.
Forster just catching the line. And that's the first mishit we've seen from the Johnsons. Hunter coming up a little bit short there on the slice. Still 8-1-2. big drive off the backhand side.
That's just a beautiful 1-2 combo. He's got Grollman coming out of the stack. He goes right to that forehand where he's on a full sprint, and then he just goes backside with the two-hander.
Another backhand down the line, just wide. It's still a good idea.
Yeah, I remember watching Hunter in mixed doubles in Chicago last year. And that was what he had early success with, was that two-hand backhand roll down the line. He's since added, a change of direction with that, but that's going back to his original power spot is that two-hander down the line.
He used to do that in mixed doubles all the time, and then he went away from it because he had some struggles with it. He was hitting the top of the tape, went away from it. If he finds that again, that's trouble.
That time.
Just told him to hit it right in the top of the tape, Dom. Good job. Good job.
I don't think that's exactly how you wanted them to listen to you.
No.
Speed up goes the way of Hunter Johnson. He is just having a field day at the kitchen line.
Well, he doesn't care if Grollman blocks it back, because if he does, he knows it's not going to be a real hard block back, so he's going to be able to do something with it.
9-2-1. Johnson's 2 points away from taking game one. Some tremendous defense by the Johnsons. Can't come up with the shot. And finally, Forster and Groman able to put one away.
Yeah, it's a good overhead there from Grollman. Hunter gets a paddle on it, but it just sits up in the wind, eventually gets knocked down.
Grollman with the backhand pushes it through the court. And that brings up game point.
10-2-2.
Hunter a little bit short on the pickup.
Yeah, again, it's difficult to judge on these drops when you're going into the wind, especially when it's changing a little bit as far as intensity. So you're not trying to figure out how hard you have to come through that ball.
Forster misplays, unforced error. 2-10-2.
Oh, where was Yates going? He was jumping to the sideline on that block.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to clear himself a little bit. Yeah, tried to clear himself to go with that two-hander, but Forster got him extended.
Forster able to go back through the middle.
Well, nice job of getting in a nice squatted position. Wasn't really a scorpion, I don't think. Kind of, a little half scorpion, I'll call it, as he gets down and gets on top of that ball.
I check to make sure the service positions are correct. 4-10-2 here in game number one. Mike Forster on serve. That was just an easy ball for Yates.
You're not going to get away with that ball right there.
Game point number 2. And a return error off the paddle of Grollman gives the Johnson brothers game number 1. They take it 11-4. We'll have game 2 action coming up ahead from the 2023 APP Sunmed New Jersey Open.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of the APP Tour. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of the APP Tour.
The APP is presented by Skechers, Powerplate, Yola, and Level Up.
The number 2 seed in the men's doubles bracket, Hunter and Yates Johnson, absolutely cruising through game 1. They took it 11-4, very low error, clean pickleball. What impressed the two of you the most?
Again, the clean and the looseness, right? So they are playing clean, but they're playing loose. And again, they laughed at each other in the middle of the point. And I'm like, you kidding me? If you're playing that loose, y'all are in trouble today.
They were so locked in, they didn't even respond to you guys ribbing them.
We were trying to get to them, but nothing.
That ball is just wide. Yates almost stopped play there in the middle of the point because he thought his backhand was not coming back.
Hunter coming up a little bit short. And again, that little pickup is maybe the only bobble that the Johnsons have had so far. Another short ball mishandled by Yates, gives the serve back over to Grollman and Forster. Grollman tries to go roll, sends it long.
I understand trying to make something happen, but that's just a tough ball right there because the ball is not coming up to you. So it's almost like a dead ball where you're trying to create from about 6 inches off the ground.
How tempting is it to create when you lost a game 1 so thoroughly?
Well, we want them to create, but we want them to create with a purpose, right? You don't want them to just go flailing away.
Nice speed up there from Grollman, comes back with forehand.
Well, that's much better patience right there from both Grollman and Forster, waiting for the right opportunity. Once they get that opportunity, then attacking.
0-0-2, still no score here in game 2. Yates tried to go scorpion, couldn't quite get on top of it. And so scoreless we remain as the serve goes back over to Grollman.
Oh, just missed it. Had the opening down the line, but it got just a little deep on him. Caught that one late. Missed it by about an inch.
Great work from the camera right there down the line. Forster drops it into the net.
Well, that's an opportunity right there that's got to be had. You have to make that ball, force them into something. You can't go off the net or into the net with that one.
Nice ball back up the middle. And something we haven't discussed really yet today is that as we get to the 11th tournament of the season, we're seeing a lot of new partnerships in the doubles side. And how does having the experience of playing together like the Johnsons aid them in a tournament like this as that one goes into the net?
Well, anytime you have that familiarity between, yes, that was a very difficult word for me to say with my accent right there. Between partners, it's It's just knowing it and having the trust in your partner that if you go for a shot, they know exactly what you're going for, and they're going to be there to back it up. Or if you have some freedom to kind of move around the court a little bit, and they're going to cover holes or be in positioning.
Grollman tried to speed it up. Not the right ball, though.
No, but two prior, both him and Forster sped up two good balls that I thought, hey, that's a good opportunity there, but the only issue is that Hunter needs to ready for each one of them.
Ooh, a little chicken wing there. Good ball from Grollman going cross court with this drive right into the right armpit of Yates Johnson.
It was a solid drive there from Grollman.
That had some pace on it. Yates got caught a little flat-footed.
Communication about who is going to take it doesn't matter as Hunter misplays the return.
Yeah, a little bit of a change here with the end change as far as adjusting to the new wind. You were playing with the wind in your face, now you have it in your back, so that ball is dropping sooner.
Good decision from Yates to let that ball go. Not as many smiles so far from the Johnson brothers here in game number 2.
Not yet, but I'm sure they're looking to get back to that.
Johnson's back on serve, 0-3-1. And there's the first point for the Johnsons as Forster misplays the return.
What do you think the adjustment is easier to do? Play with the wind in your back and then go into the wind, or play into the wind and then change ends to go with it in your back?
I would prefer with the wind in my back and then have to go into the wind. Yes.
I 100% agree.
Oh, that's a nice pull right there from Grollman, finding the hole in the middle. But to your point, Chad, we talked about that last week too, is both you and I do prefer, though, if we had a choice, to play into the wind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the adjustment of going into the wind and then switching to the wind in your back, you've gone from having to overhit a ball almost to get to it through the wind and to get it to push down, and then you come out early in the end change, you're still hitting those same balls and they're sailing a foot, 2 feet deep.
Nice reaction. Forster trying to do a little bit too much, rolls it long.
It bounced high enough, but it was too tight to the net. So because it bounces high enough doesn't mean it's the right ball. Because that ball was so close to the net, you have to hit up and over, that ball goes long.
How far away from the net does the ball need to be to roll it over?
Player to player, spin, shot, depends solely on per player, per match, situation. Everything comes into play when that kind of shot comes in.
If you want to give a gray area, not a black and white. So, we're talking 7 feet for kitchen line to the net, somewhere in that 3.5 to 4 foot range away from the net. That gives you enough room to get some shape. If it's tied up against the net like that last one for Forster, where it's about a foot 2 feet, you have to brush up so much and get it elevated to get it up and over the net that it's really difficult to get that ball to drop back in the baseline.
Yeah, because we talk about bounce height too, and there's always the talk of you got your red, yellow, green area. Yep. Throw those out. I'm sorry. It depends on who the player is, because I'm not going to tell a 3-5 player that this is your red area, don't pull the trigger. But if I'm with Hunter or Yates Johnson on the court, that red area for a 3-5 player is a green area for them because what they can do with the ball. So it all depends on player too, but yeah.
So you see both sides of the argument there.
Correct.
Now, granted, I was looking for the number, but I appreciate the in-depth analysis, Don.
Yeah.
Grollman and Forster called a timeout.
Oh, snuck it by. So that's a tough ball, right? Because Yates has to go for that one, as we saw for game point or match point for the previous match. The Win knocking it down and getting it inside the court.
That time uses the forehand to go through the wickets.
5-hole.
Mine was a sport too.
Yeah, no.
It was.
Okay.
I know. I grew up.
I mean,
playing
yeah.
cricket.
If anyone knows, it's you.
Right.
Does I come from a land down under?
She's trying to drop you in, and you go hockey on her.
I mean, literally, I teed it up for you.
Yeah.
Nice spot right there from Forster, going right at that right hip of Yates Johnson.
Earns the side out. 3-3-1. Forster back on serve after the Johnson brothers took game one handily, 11-4. Yates comes up short.
Well, in that situation right there, too, he's a little tall on it, but you see that the body movement where he's trying to recover back to the middle before he's executed that forehand dink, it rushes him through and he comes across the body and puts that one in the net.
Oh, nice forehand.
Just wide.
Just wide. I thought it got a piece of
Yeah.
Grollman at first look.
Almost. He tried to
He
hit
tried to hit it.
5-3-1.
And again, Johnson deciding to go center mass.
Well, that's it. I'm going at his body. He's either going to play this or get out of the way, and it's going to end up in the parking lot.
Oh, the defense.
But again, Yates wasn't expecting that ball to come back. You see it right here. So he stopped playing, wasn't expected to come back. So then that ball got behind him, and what turned to an attacking position then became a defensive position.
Well, it's the Johnson brothers that want to take a timeout after Forster and Grollman have taken a 6-3 lead here in game number 2. What has been the biggest difference here in the second game?
On their toes are Forster and Grollman. They're initiating a little more now, and it's again that offensive, instead of playing defense to get to offense, let's create some offense here early and see what we can get off it, and it's giving them a 3-point lead. So I like the intensity in game number 2 from Forster and Grollman. Not saying, hey, okay, we just got beat pretty bad in game 1, 11-4, packing it in. They're coming out and saying, okay, now we're going to bring it to you. We're playing with house money here. Unseeded team versus the 2 seed, come out swinging.
Is it more that Forster and Grollman have raised their level? Is it that the level of the Johnsons has dropped, or can both of those things be true?
I don't think that the level of the Johnsons has dropped. You know, they haven't been as clean with their play, but they're still playing at the same level as they were in game 1. I think Forster and Grollman have done a better job counter-attacking, being ready for those speed-ups coming from the Johnsons, and like Dom said, putting a little bit more pressure on them as well.
Well, there's a nice put away on the forehand side from Yates. Able to earn the side out, so back on serve, trailing 6-3-1.
Oh, gets a little lucky there with a big net cord and change of direction.
Sometimes all you need to change momentum is that lucky bounce. As Yates comes up short on another forehand.
But this is where they have to be careful, right? Yeah, okay, Yates has missed a couple of balls, but now he's starting to, you know, lose control as far as his composure, kicking balls and whatnot, and that has a tendency for the Johnson brothers to snowball.
able to come up with a short hop. There was some tremendous defense during that point.
Well, to be able to get that ball back to neutral was very tough from the Johnson brothers. They did, but then again, great pressure from Forster and Grollman. They only give up one.
The winner of this match moving on to the winner's bracket final, where Andre Dascu and Rob Nunnery are waiting as Grollman comes up short on the third ball.
Yeah, it's a good ball there from Hunter. Doesn't try to do too much. Adds a little bit of top spin. Grollman kind of back on his heels a little bit, and that ball gets away from him and behind him.
He just stayed flat-footed.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Really the first emotion that we've seen from the Johnson brothers here in game two, rather.
Rushed it.
Had it. It sat up for him.
Yeah, just tried to rush and finish that forehand. Hit straight down into the net.
Yates in the right position, unlucky neck cord.
Yeah, he was clearing his body here for the two-handed backhand, but then that ball off the tape, nothing you can do. That's the worst feeling, too, because as that ball sails by you, you're like, I know it's in and I can't do anything about it.
6-4-1. 6-4-1, Grollman on serve.
I like the speed up there from Grollman. Flicks this one quick cross court, handcuffs Yates, and then just comes across the body on that finishing backhand. But good aggression, good spots.
Grollman rolls it long. Ooh. Johnson's on the side out.
Forster almost lost his paddle.
And again, Grollman's so upset with himself right there. And I know he thinks it's there, and it can be if he takes something off of it, but the more he takes off it, the more it's just going to float, and Hunter will be all over it.
Right into the body of Hunter Johnson.
Well, Hunter thought he was going to go middle with this, and you watch the movement of Hunter, and he doesn't. He goes right to the spot he was going to fill.
It's a smart decision from a young player. It's not able to come up with it, so another side out. It has been 6-4 in favor of Forster and Grollman now for more than 10 services. Services. Either one. Just didn't sound right coming out.
Grollman trying to just be, it's just too cute. These are the things you can't do against a top team, right? So you got a ball here, okay, just reset that, get back into it. You're trying to go forehand cross, like your body. Don't. You have a lead. Stick with what got you here. Like that shot he made, that shot he didn't do the whole game. That's not what got you a 6-4 lead. What got you a 6-4 lead was playing clean and applying pressure.
Johnson's now back on serve. Big forehand swing from Hunter, but it catches the net.
Yeah, again, just catching that one a little late. Hitting with an open stance, spun off it too.
Finally, stalemate is broken as the Johnsons earn another point.
Yeah, that's a ball you can't miss there from Forster, though. Ball sitting up above the net, you're applying pressure. Try to go a little bit bigger, take a bigger backswing, and that ball drops below the net before you can make contact.
There have been a few of those balls off the paddle of Forster in this match. right at Johnson. They had the paddle in the right spot, but spun it off wide. Much more grinded out style here in game 2.
Yeah.
Miscommunication on who was going to take that ball.
Well, Yates is, and I don't think it's either player's fault because Yates is engaged, so he thinks that's his ball. Hunter thinks it's his because it's sitting on his forehand. It's a matter of perspective.
Another point for Forster and Groman. Easy put away. The paddles have dropped. It's another timeout for the Johnsons.
Yeah, there's a spot right now that Forster's finding right straight up on him on Yates Johnson, and it's giving Yates some fits right now. And he's finding that spot and speeding up right at that right hip and creating issues and getting some easy putaways.
Why is that right hip giving Yates so many problems?
Well, when he's doing it too, what's happening is he's jumping, right? So he's off his feet instead of just kind of leaning forward and punching that. Or possibly an issue solver could be is if he steps to his left, right? So his issue could be solved if he steps to his left and just gets to the forehand. But again, it's happening so quick, it's got to be an immediate read of, okay, he's pulling the trigger, I got to slide. Or he's got to get that paddle out in front and not get jammed up at his body.
After taking game number 1 handily 11-4, the Johnsons in a little bit of trouble here in game number 2, trailing Mike Forster and Jericho Grollman 8-5. Johnsons have yet to drop a game here in this men's doubles. They took their first match 5-4, the second one at 7-6. Meanwhile, for Forster and Groman, this is their 4th match of the day. They have yet to drop a set either, but a little bit more tested, a little bit more time on the court. We've already mentioned the conditions. We've seen them impact players throughout the week. Today in the match earlier, Anderson Scarpa had to ask for a medical due to the heat. And so that time on court, it does start to add up over the course of a day. 8-5 in favor of Forster Groman. Just a nice passing shot off the paddle.
Well, what we're starting to see, we've seen the body language change now between the Johnson brothers. There's a little bit of animosity between the two.
That's what I was actually thinking of.
So, and you saw it right there where Yates kind of probably should have covered that middle as Hunter was coming out of the uncoil.
Yates can't put the forehand away, and that gives game point to Forster and Groman.
Yeah, and again, he slid to that left and got to that forehand, but just gets on top of it too much.
Groman coming up short on the backhand dig. Still game point.
I like what the Johnsons are doing here. They're not going to uncoil. They're going to stay, and they're going to keep Yates on the left.
Yates misplays the serve, and so Grollman and Forster take game number 2, 11-5. We will have a game number 3 here in the men's semifinal. Don't go anywhere. We have more action coming back from Championship Court here at the Sunmed New Jersey Open.
We save time when we buy and book online at discounttire.com.
Which means more time
Wait, take a check.
Kyle, it's pickleball.
Every time. 002.
Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at discounttire.com.
We started this mission in tennis about 5 years ago. We've been perfecting our craft and our tools. We now see a phenomenal opportunity to take all that and bring it into pickleball to support an emerging ecosystem that's booming. And it's a super complementary partnership for us. With the experience and the existing events that are up and running, the recreational element of APP, it's a fantastic 1 + 1 is going to equal 4. So we're thrilled to be partnering with APP.
Our second men's semifinal on the doubles side, also going to 3 games after Jericho Grollman and Mike Forster fought back to take game 2 11-5 after the Johnson brothers cruised in game number 1 11-4. And we are about to get started. Johnson's will be on serve, trying to advance to the winner's bracket final. Andre Diescu and Rob Nunnery waiting. Their match also went to 3 as Johnson misses just a bit long.
Yeah, he's trying to go back down that line again. I like it because they had a lot of success with that in game number 1.
0-0-1. Tried to pull the trigger on the backhand, couldn't clear the hip.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good trigger pull there, but it was a good counterattack from Grollman.
Grollman puts it away. And Don, we talked about this coming into the match. Grollman is a fighter. He's not going to go away easy.
No, he's not. With that 15-3 game he had in singles, he ended up losing that. But again, he was fighting till then, fought off a bunch of match points.
Error from Yates.
Yeah, you've definitely seen the body language change here for the Johnson brothers. Momentum has swung in the direction of Forster and Grollman.
Tried to speed it up for the forehand, and Grollman and Forster out to a 4-0 lead here in game number 3.
Well,
a quick timeout.
Yeah.
Both of the last speed-ups, one by Yates, one by Hunter, standing completely straight up, trying to hit that ball as hard as he can. It's a recipe for disaster right there. Because trying to do too much, you're letting your emotions get the better of you. You know, they need to use this timeout to step back, regroup, say, hey, you know what, flush whatever happened before that. We have to reestablish, reevaluate, move the ball around, extend the point a little bit, find the opening, find the off balance to speed that ball up. Right now they're frustrated and they're showing.
On the other side of the net, Forster and Grollman have all the momentum, but as an unseeded team, yes, there is no pressure, but how hard does it become as you get closer to the end to try and close out an established team?
Well, right
now,
now,
some of that depends on the score.
Well, right now, early on, 4-0, they've come out really hot in game at number 3. When you get into like 8, 9, 10, now it gets a little tougher.
Able to force the error.
But that was it right there from the Johnsons. They didn't try and do too much with each one of those balls. They just forced Forster and Grollman to make a mistake.
That left hip once again has been the target spot for Mike Forster.
Well, it's a good reach in there by Forster, and again, doesn't try to do too much, goes cross-body with it.
Yates misplays the return. 6-0 here to start game number 3. It's going to be an end change, and the Johnson brothers are going to have to come up with something and come up with it soon, as they are facing a large deficit here in game number 3.
Well, the game plan needs to go out the window and figure something out here. But what they did in game 1 is just not translating to game 2 and 3, and it's frustration right now. And we were seeing and saying that it was trouble for Forster and Grollman in game 1 because the Johnsons were having a good time. They were smiling, they were laughing, and then all of a sudden Forster and Grollman got them into some situations that were uncomfortable, and now you're seeing it.
Are you surprised, given how one-sided game number 1 was, that we've seen the script flip this quickly?
Yes, 100%. Because, again, they were so comfortable in game 1. Not sure what changed. I mean, there were some adjustments made from Forster and Grollman as far as spots, as far as being a little more aggressive. They've had a lot of success with Forster straight up on Yates or on Hunter Johnson, and he's found some good Yates Johnson, and he's found that left hip and the speed up right on. So
do you think that targeting of the left hip of Yates has been the difference maker for Forster and Grollman?
I think it has, because it's created some opportunities for both Forster and Grollman on balls after that.
Receivers, 1 timeout remaining. Servers, 2 timeouts remaining.
Grollman and Forster trying to close out this men's semifinal.
6-0-2.
6-0-2. Gets the forehand winner, but that was some tremendous defense by Jericho Grollman.
Yeah, excellent defense from Grollman there, but and very good setup there from Hunter Johnson, rolling that ball back behind and then sliding with it. And then a quick
That's a freebie right there,
point.
because that ball's going so out.
Johnson's on the board here in game number 3, 1-6-1. Those are some big swings, and that is exactly what the Johnsons needed.
And the momentum here, you hear the big yeah and woo from Hunter Johnson. Trying to get his brother Yates fired up here. He knows that's another X-factor spot that they've been struggling with right now.
Yates trying to go power through that forehand.
Yeah, just spun off it a little bit, rushed the drive.
2-6-2.
Return sails long.
This is the last thing that Forster and Grollman needed, were easy points giving up and giving free points to the Johnsons.
Yeah, I like that disguise from Grollman. You actually watch him and he's like just fiddling around with the grip a little bit, and then he's like, oh no, I'm just gonna quick flick right into the body.
Very casual. Oh, what a forehand by Grollman!
That is a huge forehand on the line.
Yeah, Hunter coming out of the uncoil from the stack, a little late getting across there.
7-3-1.
Wow, what a shot. Hunter pushes the backhand long.
Somehow Hunter managed to hit that ball through 2 paddles. Grollman was late, Forster was late.
And then it goes out.
Starting to get into danger time here for Hunter and Yates Johnson, trailing by 5 here in game number 3.
Yeah, Forster did a little too much there on that drive. Again, Hunter just a little late getting across with the uncoil from the stack.
8-3-2.
8-3-2. Able to earn the side out, so Johnson's still in this.
So there's someone in the front row that is
they're chirping over there.
Annoying the Johnsons right now. They need to keep their head between the lines, focus on what they need to do. I like the back away from the line from Yates Johnson right there. Watch him. He knows the speed up's coming, sits on it, but Grollman.
His hands are lightning fast
so
right now.
quick.
He's staying super relaxed, trusting his hand speed.
8-2.
Nice speed up there. Point to the Johnsons.
Yeah, Grollman tried to go cross court with it, but a good adjustment there from Hunter. Just goes with that little pancake forehand. Oh, you had to win it down.
Had the line open, and Yates missed it.
Watch this replay here. It's sitting there for him, but he just goes a little too hard with it. They do answer and get one back. They cut the lead in half.
If you're the Johnsons now, you have to get that quick side out, get back on serve. It all becomes about playing defense. As Forster and Groman up 8-4. Oh, Yates with the cross-court backhand winner.
That is beautiful right there again. Talk about paddle in the right spot at the right time. And then look at him create the angle there, too. Beautifully done.
There's that quick side out, so the Johnsons now back on serve. Beautiful winner from Yates. That may be just what he needs to translate over to the offensive side.
Such good point construction from Yates right there. He goes with the drive, but then doesn't overdo it. He drops the fifth and then works a great seventh pressure dink.
Hunter wins the speed up.
That's baited. He baited him into that.
But he got beat a couple of times on that forehand. But yeah, like you said, he's just going cross court with Forster, and then Hunter switches it right in front of Grollman, knowing he's going to speed up that forehand. Just sits all over it.
Forster pushes it wide, and so tense moments as the Johnsons have worked it back within one. And Dom, this is where you said that nerviness comes into play. It gets a little bit tougher when you get to 8, 9, 10.
It's easy to get a 4-point lead. 4-0, game 3. Now it's can you finish it, though? Again, we can all take leads like that, but again, can you finish? And now, pattern has been set, okay? Pattern has been set. Hunter goes cross-court there. He went 6, 7, 8, 9 times in a row and then feeds the ball right to Jericho. And as soon as he feeds that ball to Jericho, he steps back and is sitting on that forehand because he knows he's going to speed up because Jericho hasn't seen a ball in 10 shots. So he knows he's going to try and make something happen, sitting on it, punishing it. That's what I want to see from Hunter, is continue that. The difference maker here is going to be is Forster going to sit in that. What he needs to do is not sit into that because he's had the success against Yates. He needs to push that ball flat down the line to Yates and involve Yates in that now and see what happens out of there.
Veteran play by Hunter Johnson, and this is where the experience comes into play. Jericho Grollman, one of the younger players on tour, just 23 years old, switching recently from tennis over to pickleball. The Johnsons, 29 years old, played collegiately at SMU. They've been in the pickleball game a little bit longer. They've been successful at this level, and so drawing on that experience. And Chad, how much does that come into play in moments like this?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely comes into experience, but I think the difference maker is being here is that Grollman was getting a steady stream of balls, and at times when you keep playing at somebody, you get them into a rhythm, and then all of a sudden Grollman was the one that was making cleaner shots, putting the pressure on. So they've made that adjustment of going to Forster now, and we're going to continue to see that steady stream. Forster's showing a little bit of a breakdown.
off the Battle of Grollman, and we are tied at 8 here in game number 3.
That's an 8-2 run by the Johnsons here after the end change.
Much better speed up there from Forster. Again, going into the body of Yates Johnson. He tries to clear the backhand, but Forster still finds that left shoulder.
Grollman pushes it long.
I know that ball pops up off the tape and it looks good, and then when it bounces, you think it's going to bounce high. It's got so much spin on it, he cannot attack that ball. It's just not a good attack.
The Johnsons have taken their first lead here in game number 3. Able to put it away and earn the side out. Johnsons with the lead for the first time since 3-0 in game number 2, to give you an idea of how much Grollman and Forster have dominated game 2 in the first half of game 3.
Well, I'm going to say this. If I was Grollman and Forster, I would be going hard at Yates Johnson. I would be going hard into the body, across the belt, up that right hip, right armpit, because he has not been able to make that adjustment at all here.
Pops up, and it's an easy put away for Forster. It's tied at 9-all.
So good, Mike. So good.
Good speed ups there from Forster. Gets the Johnson brothers back on their heels, creates the pop-up.
Fairly lopsided games each way in game 1 and 2. This one a much tighter affair, tied at 9. Grollman went for the winner, and it missed.
Just overhit it with the wind. Typically, we've seen those balls push down, but that one, he just cuts through the wind.
Yates wins the battle, and now the Johnsons with match point.
Yeah, Yates finally able to clear that backhand side.
10-9-1.
Match point.
Better late than never.
That'll do it as the Johnsons erase a 6-point deficit to come back and take game number 3, 11-9, and they win the match. We'll hear from the Yates brothers coming up next here on Championship Court. The Johnson brothers, I saw that dump. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back at the Sunmed New Jersey Open.
16 years from today, Greg Gerstner will finally land the perfect cannonball. Unsuspecting friends? Check. Epic water displacement? Big check. A work of art that's only possible because Greg is already meeting all these same people at AARP volunteer and community events.
The APP is presented by LS, Gamma, the Boca Raton, and Franklin.
We take a look back here at match point for Yates and Hunter Johnson. A good run coming down the stretch, making the adjustment. We see the final backhand roll from Yates right here. And that missed ball into the net by Forster. So it's the Johnson brothers moving on. And we have Yates and Hunter courtside with Dominic Catalano.
All right, Yates, Hunter, first and foremost, you come out on fire game one. I even saw you guys laughing with each other, which we don't see very often. Game two, a different story. What happened between games one and game two?
I think we came out super loose. The first game, we were against the wind, so I think we could be a little more aggressive. And then, yeah, I mean, they played a lot better, a lot less errors. I think we got a little tight, a little anxious. And, yeah, I think we kind of just turned it around the third game after being down 6-0. So I don't know what happened there.
It leads me right into my next question. You go down 6-0 on the end change. Hunter, what are you guys talking about to kind of flip the script there?
I mean, we didn't really talk. We just kind of realized, like, okay, well, it's 6-0, and we need to buckle down and just try to figure it out. And I think we just slowed down the pace and played our games and just went patient mode and just it worked out.
And now game plan going in winter bracket final. You got Deescu and Nunnery. What are you guys looking forward to in that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, we always know when we play them, it's going to be a tough match. It's always going to be a battle. They're a super consistent team, very smart team. I think we're just going to have to be really patient and just kind of, play our best, and we'll see what happens.
All right, congratulations, boys. Moving on to that winter bracket final. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, a women's matchup here on Championship Court at the APP Sunmed New Jersey Open.